Hello friends and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Some people just don't understand normal language, in which case you have to rely on the police. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Just give me that car. So a couple years back, I had a nice, fairly rare 1989 Camry all-track sedan lying around. Though I don't use it, I kept it well maintained and the car's in fair shape, with the only big issue being the rear bumper, which was held on with zip ties and duct tape. The car had medium mileage and is mechanically sound, so I listed the car for sale with a fairly low price, below estimations for its value. Over the next couple of weeks, there were interested buyers ringing up about it, coming by to test it, but I still have the car lying in my garage. After a while longer, I got a call from somebody offering to drop by and have a look, which I agreed to. The guy came by and I was immediately distasted with him. Smoker, rude, extremely annoying. Either way, I swallowed my distastement and just gave him the gist, showed him what needs to be replaced, which was pretty much only the rear bumper and the passenger side headlight that was slightly yellowed out. The guy seems interested and took the car for a test drive, in which he managed to add the front bumper and grille to the list of stuff that needs to be repaired. At that point, I should have just pulled out of the deal, but I wanted to get the car off my hands, so I told him to pay up and I'll give him the papers and keys. It was then, to my utter surprise, that he said he had no money and I should give him the car simply because I have a silver upmarket sedan in my garage and should, quote, help out the poor. I, of course, refused to, and he started making bargains. Prices he gave out were lower than what I could get from bringing the car to the scrapyard and selling it by weight, so I turned all the offers down. Eventually, he got annoyed and starts to curse at me and attempt to threaten me into giving him the car, and only stops when I threaten to call the police. At the end of the day, I ended up with more damage to the car than it already had. After this, I pulled the ad off, get the car repaired completely, then stashed it at the back of the lot where I work. I thought that was the end of it, but after pulling the ad down, I kept receiving phone calls from the guy, still threatening me somehow. I ended up calling the cops on him and never heard from him again. I still own the car to this day, and it's still occasionally driven. I'm confident I made the right choice, though the incident does leave a bad taste in my mouth. A bad taste that won't go away anytime soon. And our second story. Bargaining in a retail store? Good luck with that. This is from my new job at a sporting goods store. We have everything from workout clothes to team sports equipment, bikes, golf and hunting, camping, fishing, shooting. I work in the hunting, camping, fishing, shooting department. Today I was wandering through my department checking on customers when a man requested assistance with our gun safes. First, he took me over to one of the cheaper stamped sheet metal ones. They're not fireproof and are relatively easy to break into with hand tools and determination. Customer is C, M is me. C, pointing at the $119 10-gun safe. Is this your best price? Me. Yes, that's the best price, as it's already on sale. Other than that, if you sign up for our store debit card, we can knock off 10%, but that's about it. Looking it over. Well, it has a big dent in the side. Surely there's a discount for that. There was a pretty good-sized dent on the side. This is actually the display model. The ones we actually sell are boxed up with styrofoam and are not dented at all. You want to sell me this one for cheaper, though, since it's the display and it's dented? Sorry, but I can only sell the display model if it's the last one left. We have 3 of those in the back. Okay, well, would you take $50 on one of the boxed up ones in the back? No, the price is $119 on sale. That's more than half off and way under cost. All right, thanks for the help. He walks away. 20 minutes later, he calls me back over to the safes. Now he's looking at the fireproof 32-gun safe, which is much nicer and priced at $599. Also on sale. Regular $699. I like this one. Take $500 even for it? Sir, this is a retail store, not a yard sale. If you want to dicker on prices, I'd suggest Craigslist. You sure? I'd pay cash. Yep, I'm sure. Even if I pay cash? Well, since this is a national chain and not a mom and pop store, cash really doesn't make a difference. He sighs and walks away. Yeah, sure. Let me sell you a $119 safe for less than cost, then knock $100 off another safe just because you asked. Right. And our next story. You want me to do exactly as you've asked, even though I told you it wouldn't work? Okay. This happened this morning. I work in a shop that sells and repairs chainsaws and other garden machinery. We're pretty well known in the local area, and because of this, all year round, we have an average of roughly 5-week lead time on servicing and repairs. I know that sounds crazy. We've got 3 guys in the workshop working 5.5 days a week, and we're just always flat out. Due to the nature of our business, we deal with people and customers from all walks of life. In this case, the customer was a member of the traveling community and is known to us as being a bit of a nasty piece of work. Last Thursday, the guy, let's call him Blower Man, comes into the shop with his raggedy old leaf blower. The guy's about 60 and the blower's about 15 years old and looks like it's never seen service. Before we get into it, I'll just outline one thing. The carburetor on a little engine like this is like the brain. There's a series of gaskets and diaphragms inside the carb that get the fuel where it needs to go, when it needs to get there. There's a series of gaskets and diaphragms inside the carb that get the fuel where it needs to go, when it needs to go there, and in the right quantity. If the gaskets are hard or broken or damaged, it won't work. But if a machine doesn't work, it's not necessarily the diaphragms. BM says to me, "Put new diaphragms in that," signaling at his blower. I said, "No problem. I'll book it in for you. The lead time's roughly 4 weeks." BM says, "I'm not waiting that long. It just needs gaskets. Why can't you do it now?" I explained to him that I could do just the gaskets now, but I guarantee that they aren't the issue. I explained that the machine was old as dirt and that it was going to need more doing to it than just that. He disagreed and said it was only the gaskets to do it for him and that he'd be back on Saturday morning. I said, "No problem. I'll replace the gaskets for you, sir." I replaced the parts he asked me to, and sure enough, the machine didn't work. Surprise! BM comes in on Saturday. "You done it then?" Me: "Yes, I've done it for you, but as I said on Thursday, it still doesn't work. I'm happy to look at it and get it running for you, but again, as I said on Thursday, our lead time is roughly 4 weeks. "That's ridiculous. Why didn't it work?" Unfortunately, the machine needs a thorough clean of the fuel system and looking at properly. The gaskets were rock hard and brittle, so they all tore as I took them apart, so that definitely was an issue. But there are more that need sorting to get it working properly. The cost is 38 pounds, the gasket kits, which you asked for, is 20 pounds, and the rest is my labor. I haven't got any money, so I'll take it now and bring the money another day. I'm afraid I can't release the machine without it being paid for. So he mumbles and disappears, and today he shuffled back into the shop. "Take them gaskets out and give it back to me. I'm not paying that price." In this situation, we usually charge some labor to undo work that's been specifically requested when we advised against it. It's a waste of our time, and it's boring. But in this case, the guy was already winding me up, and I just wanted to get rid of him. No problem, but it still won't work because, as I told you on Thursday and Saturday, your gaskets were dry and damaged, so they won't go back in. So it still won't work. Whatever, just take them out. So I did. I put all the parts of his machine in a little bag so that if he ever wants it done, it'd be easy to access and less hassle. I handed him the machine and the bag of parts. "What the F is that?" "That's all the parts. There's no point putting it all back together with the parts you need missing. It won't work at all. It'd be pointless." "You're a effing con man." "Sorry?" "You're a effing con man. You're nothing but a bunch of C's in here." "Oh, okay. Well, have a nice day." "F your mother." Needless to say, he won't be getting the time of day when he comes back, because he will come back. He needs a blower. Entitled Karen thinks my parents' land is hers. My parents live in a gated community and got their house custom built. They purchased the land separately as originally they were selling it all together, and all they needed was 3 acres, not 5 for the house, so they purchased 1 plot for the house and the other plot next to it and left it empty for privacy, since if they bought it all together, they would have had to pay double the property tax. Now on to the story. It was about 7 p.m. and 25 minutes until sundown, so I was in my room, looking, texting, when I saw flashlights on the land we have next to the house. So I told my dad and we both went out there thinking it was the HOA, as they usually check to see if the trees aren't overgrown. So we went out there and see what we know as Karen in this story. Her husband, and son, which looked to be about 14 to 16, with BB guns and traps. This is when it starts. Dad: "Hey, can we help you?" Karen: "No, we're just going hunting. This is a really nice neighborhood." First off, how'd she even get in? Unless she had a code or knew someone who lived here, she couldn't even get in. Dad: "Sorry, but we own this land and you can't hunt here. Also, no animals come through here except squirrels and some occasional deer." Karen: "Now this is public land. And okay, we'll set traps for the deer." This is when the Kevin, aka the father, came in. Is there a problem? They said this is owned land, but I doubt that. I went into the house and called the community security. They were obviously trespassing, as even when my dad said it was privately owned, they set traps. I didn't hear the rest of the conversation, but when security came and I came out, this happened. Karen, this man is bullying my son for hunting. Security, this is privately owned property. Even if it wasn't, you can't hunt on a obviously hunt in a community you don't live in. Turns out they were already looking for her, as when they were looking over the community gate footage, they followed behind another car that put in the code. Long story short, they were kicked out of the neighborhood, and if they ever came back without a valid reason, they'd get trespassed and the police would be called. The whole time, the son just looked embarrassed and looked like he didn't even want to go hunting. And our last story. They wouldn't let me quit. So in college, I worked at a recreation store, basically a place that sells boats, ATVs, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, etc. Anyways, I was coming to the end of my school term and was about to start working at a civil firm. So I went to put in my 2-week notice like a normal person and got this exchange. Me. Hey boss, I know I mentioned it when I was hired, but I need to turn in my 2 weeks so I can go on my work term. Oh, okay. But can you still work weekends? I'd rather not. I'm going to be working 50-plus hour weeks, and I'd like weekends for family and friends. Okay, but I'll keep you on the books, and I'll call you if we need extra help from time to time. Yeah, no, I'm quitting. I have a full-time job now. Just not feasible to work 2 jobs now. Okay, fine. Good luck with your new job. So 2 weeks later, 7 a.m. phone call. Me. Hello? Hey, any chance you can come in today? Craphead, who always calls in, called in today. I'm at my cottage on an island. All right, well, if you could be here by noon, that'd be great. Dude, I don't work for you. Bye. It's still kind of awkward because that's where I go to buy parts for my dirt bike and snowmobile. Thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.